Hello, everyone. You just missed our discussion of talking about sexy angel movies. Where have they gone? Will they come back? That might be our frequently asked questions bonus episode that we'll do.
Yum.
Oh, amazing. Well, we are here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you to my fantastic cast of players. Thank you to everyone who is watching, because this is our series finale of The Gilded Shadows. The Gilded Shadows, in which we play a powered by the Apocalypse Urban Shadow system, which is a 2d6 system, which is all about urban fantasy and about maneuvering through different factions within the city, and also using your friends to get ahead in life, using other NPCs. And yeah, it's a real good time. And yeah, y'all, thank you for playing. This has actually been really wonderful. This has been my first time running this system. This has been my first time running a Powered by the Apocalypse system at all. And it's been, I've learned a lot. And I, of course, have had a blast playing with you all. You all are so great. I hope you'll all come back. But with that, with the themes that you can expect for this episode tonight, you can expect some graphic fantasy violence, as per usual here on the Venture Maidens. This is an adult stream. You can expect swearing and drinking and adult content. And also
sexy angels.
And sexy angels. Adult content right there. I should have put that in the content warning box. I'll have to update it.
Adult celestial content.
Only angels. All right. So
Don't let your feather slip.
Wow.
Oh, goodness. I'm going to miss you all. But with that, you can also expect, emotional manipulation and body autonomy, privacy rights. All of these sort of themes are prevalent in our setting here of the city of Los Angeles, California in the year 2050. And with that, I will be your storyteller this evening, Sage.
And for one last time, I am your chaotic fae, Zev, and my name is Rabecca Rocha.
Hi, everybody. I'm JB, and I will be playing Hector Dominic Curio, your immortal, this evening.
Hello, my name is Jen, she, they, and I will be playing Viv Idly, the vessel who has come back from, darker deeds. Thank you, Sage, for breathing such life into me. It kind of feels right.
That's the adult celestial content, I think. I'm Jess, they, them, and I'm playing Izzy, the beleaguered oracle.
I got it this time. Hi, it's me. I am Noir. I go by he, they. Uriel also goes by he, they. I'm the very put upon angel that might threaten to get a little sexy on the last episode. Who knows?
Anything could happen. I am Paul Harpring, and I will be playing Eli, your SoCal Constantine scholar.
There we go. Having trouble with our mute button. All right. Well. Well, before we dive back into the action, tell me, friends, remind our viewers here, remind Jen here, what the heck happened last time?
Well,
so many prophecies. Oh, sorry.
The sexiest of people and angels, yes, got it.
Mm-hmm. I can explain what happened for Zev and Eli. They were doing research for on Balfagor, as well as the vessel of San de la Rocha, the Rocha San Domingo, which is a magic object that Eli agreed to procure for Hector in Eli's storage facility. as they were doing research and came upon some answers, a swarm of cockroaches invaded, which reminded Eli to book an appointment with the bug exterminators. But they carried a message from the court of roaches that was to facilitate that now Zev is in charge of facilitating the transfer of the vessel of transference to the Court of Sands. And so Zev got hopped up on some fairy juice and then opened up, it was a good time. And then opened up a portal to the Fae world that then and then Zev and Eli dove into the Fae. Do you want to take it from there, Becca?
Yes, thank you for jostling my memory. They ran into Zev's
Like an 8-ball.
Pet. Sometimes I need like a jump start, like Petal and Skylark, who revealed that Queen Annika was not an actual Fae. And that's sort of where we left off. It sounds like we were about to start some sort of trade.
But everybody else did some stuff.
And
Yeah. Viv and Izzy were headed to Hector's house, and then Viv was like overcome with some weirdness because Meta was controlling her. And we also found a spy bot in the divination tools from Victoria, when we rescued her divination tools, and there was a little peeper spider inside of there that we had to disable. And and Izzy was able to bring Viv back to herself through the power of being a not completely terrible backup singer. And
So we haven't gotten back to Hector's house where Viv now owes a debt. Okay. Looking forward to it.
Well, that we made it to Hector's, where we thought that Uriel was dying. And while we were dealing with Izzy just like spouting off prophecies left and right, Hector had a conversation, a terrifying conversation with Viv. And now Hector owns Viv's debt from Izzy.
Appearing in Hector's beachfront house, amid his luxurious trappings, an angel and a demon apparated from nothing and started to tear apart his life right in front of his eyes. Unwilling to join the fray himself, Hector watched on and gave kind and curious words to push Uriel to win the fight against Balfagor. Balfagor, who fucked up coming to Hector's house, was not aware that Hector's house is made for those who are vain. Every surface covered in mirrors, mirror polished marble, gold, silver trappings. And so when he saw his own reflection in those surfaces, the power that once protected him from Uriel vanished. Though he got a grievous wound on Uriel, actually critically wounding Uriel, which we may get to here in a little bit, Uriel smote his ruin with a final call from the Lord on high. Balfagor turned to dust and destroyed, left burning wreckage in his wake. But uncaring, Hector had a tender moment with Uriel in which he pried a demonic sword from Uriel's chest as the angel's wings began to deteriorate, leaving only a mortal form behind. And then, yes, I painstakingly and forcefully pried a debt of Izzy from Viv's outstretched fingies. And I poured a tincture down your throat so Meta won't be taking over your brain for a couple more hours.
Indeed. Oh boy, we've got a lot of stuff going on here. I love it. I think where we are going to first pick up, though, is with our duo who are in the realm of fairy. Eli and Zev, you are standing here in this beautiful and spectacular and just iridescent glade, at the back of which there is this waterfall that cascades into a small pond, which was the waters in which the urn of transference needs to be filled into in order to be able to transmute them, in order for the next court, the Court of Sands, to take power, to take control for the winter. And so Petal and Skylark here had proposed this question to Zev of, well, we know that the true queen is likely being held somewhere, because Queen Annika, or the person posing as Queen Annika, is using her power, is using Fey glamour magic in order to pose as her, and so it's likely that the queen is stuffed somewhere. But this rite needs to get done, and in doing so, it needs to be invoked by the name of someone who is in control of the court. And if people are willing to pledge to, or who are pledged to that individual that is invoking the name, who is invoking the power of this rite, they can take control of the court. And so they pose, well, you can try and find the true queen. What's left of her, we're not exactly sure. We're not even sure where she is. You could take it. You could claim that seat, or you could pose someone else to take that right, or to give it to Queen Annika, who had asked you to come here and do it in the first place. And you can see that also that they have the vase de la Roche San Domingo, which they had used to produce this corpse of Queen Annika, in order to use it for probably some kind of to set the scene, in order to get her out of the picture, to wrestle the courtly control from her. So, what are the two of y'all thinking? What is Zev feeling in this moment? What is Eli thinking?
Eli is never gonna agree to work for the Fae courts and shit like this again. That's what Eli is thinking. Like, fuck, this is what I get for taking a deal that's gonna make me leave my fucking warehouse and my neighborhood. Like, there's no court, and neither one of Petal or what's the other one's name? Skylark. Yeah, neither Petal or Skylark are from the Court of Sands, right?
Correct.
Right. So at this point, Eli just wants to get square with the Court of Roaches and the Court of Sands and be clear of this. Get that, trade one vase for another, and wash his hands of this. Be able to call it a done deal, conditions fulfilled, box checked. Yeah.
And by bringing the vase here, by helping Zev come here safely, you have indeed filled that deal.
Okay,
have held true to it.
Okay.
And that was the vase was what was inside of your satchel, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So if Zev was thinking, like, we'll pull Eli aside about filling that role temporarily to get Annika out of the seat of power. That would buy them a little bit more time to find said queen. So it's not like a permanent role, like to find somebody within that court to fill it, but to be seated temporarily there. So it's like a trade, your hands are washed clean of it, and Zev with them. Stay.
Yeah, that sounds great. Congratulations on the promotion then, I guess.
Sweet. She did really, I don't think she realizes like just how big that would be. It's just more of a solution to just get Annika out of there. Something about that is not right. Anything's about that.
Yeah, Eli doesn't quite appreciate the gravity of it either, but it's like, hey, cool, you've got a title now. That seems fun, right? And sure.
Queen Regent seems like a pretty good promotion. So Eli hasn't yet. So how's it exactly that? What is it that you're exactly saying to sort of facilitate this deal with them? Because you all haven't we've had a lot of talking back and forth of thinking about strategizing what it is that's going on, talking about the meta of it, but what is it that you all are saying to Petal and Skylark in order to get this going?
Eli's gonna pull the vessel of transference out of his bag and put it on the ground. Okay, y'all put that thing down over there.
Zeb takes a step forward, like hands outstretched. So we want to make a deal. We want to make a deal with you both. And this might seem a little nuts, but if what you say is true about Annika, we have a trade that we can make here, and I could perhaps fill this position just for a moment, perhaps until we find somebody better suited. That way, the court is not left queenless for anybody to step in.
And they both nod accordingly, and Petal, with her blue hair, with her blue mohawk, she'll say, "All right, we've heard of some kindnesses about things that you all have, you and your associates have done for Juniper, and we're sorry to hear that they died. But all right, we're willing to accept your leadership temporarily, but what is it? What do you want from us?"
Just that. And he points at the vase that they put on the ground.
That vase.
Deal of a lifetime, y'all.
Nothing more, nothing less. I will be here to serve your people, and we'll, we want to make sure that vampires can get a little bit more. That's all we want.
Yeah, and Skylark will set it down right next to the urn of transference, and will say, as they stand back up, "All right, we're willing to back you until the next season's change. A vase for a vase." And then they hold out their hand.
Go ahead and shake. That's how you all got to do it, right?
Is there anything in that hand?
No?
Okay.
But you can see that their other hand is outstretched, so you can see that there are no fingers crossed.
Okay. Zeb tends to I mean, if anybody's gonna take the fall, it's gonna be Zeb. So Zeb reaches out a hand and bristles just slightly, and then touches the other. It zaps a little bit and shakes.
And yeah, there's this spark of electricity that courses between the two of you as this deal is struck, and you feel the power bind the both of you. And there's this flash of bright white light that just erupts through this glade, and this breeze that picks up and just bristles through the trees. And after all the leaves, these bright prismatic leaves sort of settle back into the ground, and the grass stills, you feel imbued with power. Annika had given you a little bit of an extra boost in order to give you the power in order to do the right, but now claiming this seat of power, you feel it is yours.
Whoa. She kind of does this with her fingers and sees the electricity in her fingers, and then touches Eli. Nice.
Yeah, in the aftermath of this moment of fate made manifest in this glade, Eli just slowly reaches down to grab the vase that he's after. Yoink! And puts that in the bag.
Petal likewise sort of mirrors you to
Nod of recognition, right? We're good, right? They did
nice
the whole thing. It's crazy magic time. We get our stuff.
A vase for a vase. We made a deal.
And Skylark looks at you and says, "A deal freely struck and power exchanged. Well, I suppose we should get this done, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Petal looks to Eli and says, "You're welcome to stay. Are you planning on going? Are the two of you planning on going back to the mortal realm together? Are you staying here, Zev?"
I think I'll stay here for now.
All right. Yeah, I'm
For
gonna.
now.
I'm just gonna need a portal back or something, unless you left that other one still open back there. But if you could just give me a lift. I mean, if you need a hand with the ritual, like, because I do know a little bit about that, so I could, if you don't know all the words or whatever, it's cool. But if you got that, then yeah, you just open a portal. I'll just head back. You can, Queen Region and up in here. Congratulations again, Zev.
Yeah. I'm guessing with Zeb's new powers, then she has the capability of doing this right away. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Portal from here to Hector's house.
Yeah, back to the shop would be
The
fine.
shop, all right.
Yeah.
Shop. Except the portal is in the roof, so we'll fall
Drops
straight
down into the room.
Yeah, like literally like portal again. Just, Yep.
Yep.
Good luck.
All right. Thanks. Same to you. Give me a buzz when you're back in the mortal world.
Yeah, I'll send some cockroaches.
Phone will still work, but yeah. All right. See ya. And he just jumps like Mario into the portal to boom,
Whoop, whoop.
land.
Yeah, indeed. You find yourself back into your office in the storage facility, and Zev, calling forth this knowledge that begins to flood forward from your subconscious, all of these things that now you have access to, these centuries of knowledge stretching back before time.
I can hear every equation.
You can call forth, the knowledge of all of the monarchs that have preceded you, and you have this opportunity now to make this ritual your own, to pass down to future regions. Do you have something minor? Do you want to think about it while I jump to someone else to think about what your magical ritual would look like?
Yeah, jump to someone else because I was formulating something, but come back to me.
Nice. So we will jump to Uriel, who is bleeding profusely on the couch in Hector's beach house. Along with Viv and Izzy and Hector, all there, all having had some terse and also some kind words exchanged between the four of them.
It's not as bad as it feels, or looks, or smells, surprisingly.
That ice cold feeling that you have, that is probably death, my boy. We should get you to someone.
Is that what that feels like? I've brought it to so many, but I never experienced it myself. It's interesting. Not as interesting as the snakes on the cell phone, but still pretty interesting.
And I'm imagining this is the first time Viv is snapped back to reality. Oop, there goes gravity. Oop, there goes gravity.
I was thinking
after getting the tincture for the first time in days. Are you with us, Viv?
Viv's looking at Uriel on the couch, and first looking at the couch, looking at Hector, and being like, "Oh no!" But then looking at Uriel. Did I do this?
Oh, no. This was the result of the demon that possessed you. I'm glad that you're doing better though now.
Viv takes one of his hands, probably the one that's the least bloody, and is like, "What can we do for you?
That's
God must have amazing health care, no? Like, what are we even? I mean, we're not calling 911. Have we done that yet? Or 000, whatever it is now. I know they keep changing it.
In general, I must advise against calling the police. Having an unknown demonic stabber in the area would drive down real estate. But why don't you go ahead and pick him up, my dear? Montgomery should be bringing the car around soon.
Really, I don't mean to be a bother. This will pass, I'm sure.
Of course, but you will not. And Viv, Madonna and Child, La Pieta style, puts one hand under his shoulders and the other under his knees, and using her machine-made body or lab-made body, is able to lift him, or hopefully Sage. Please do a good job. Okay, yeah.
And that's where Sage drew the line. No.
Yeah.
Hey, your soul doesn't smell funny anymore.
Oh yeah, thank you. You smell of earth. You smell earthly.
Well, that does not bode well.
It's sort of a catchy song. I think that's a good title. While walking, like sort of like
now, you're seriously doing this right now.
I mean, surely it's a sign that you're doing okay. If I'm getting lost in the lyrics.
As Izzy and Hector follow these two out the front door, Hector's going to very gently pinch pointer finger and thumb right above Izzy's elbow and hold her back a step or two.
Oh, I don't like that. What is that?
And he says, "And what do you see for our new friend here?"
Oh, you want a vision? Who do you want a prophecy for? For Viv or for the new Uriel?
Uriel. I need to know if it's worth the investment to call in favors at this point.
Izzy has just been going hard on prophecies lately, so she's not going to get out like her whole bag of cowrie shell. She'll just use her necklace, her like cowrie shell necklace, and kind of zone out for a minute and come back and say, "When the day comes that the wind freezes water, a silver-haired woman shall bring forth a new unity."
That seems fake. Did you read that off of your cell phone? What do you see? He says, clenching his fist in front of his face. I don't need whatever you're pushing this filter through. I need to know. You can do this. What do you see?
Sage, did I need to roll something to like interpret my own prophecies?
I would say no. I would say no.
Okay. Then I guess. Hold on. I'm come back to Izzy because I need to come up with an explanation. No, wait. I'm just gonna wing it. It means that Uriel will meet someone who will bring unity who will bring people together in an important way that will be very helpful. But it won't happen until winter comes.
Oh, gods. Could it really be so simple? When
Sometimes.
Montgomery comes around the corner, in this really expensive luxury car, half hanging out of the window. So, where to? He kind of says, as we are pushing Uriel into the back seat. And I'll say, I'll just tell him, God damn it. Take us to Unity.
I think I think Uriel and Viv are low key bopping to a song Viv is writing.
Mhm.
Hurts the worst when you smell like earth.
Thunder and morning dew.
Oh man, amazing. Fantastic. So you all are piling into the back of Hector's car after Montgomery peels around the corner, and Hector calls to go to Unity. Is that a place or a person?
It is a person. I'm going to try and hit the streets to find my friend Unity, a vampire who is an expert in taking people apart and putting them back together. Snow white hair, snow white skin from the far north, as she likes to say. It all sounds like it fits this weird prophecy that Izzy has just ran for me. So I'm entrusting Uriel's life to the prophecy that Izzy just gave me. And I will roll with the faction knight. 4
Passing that
plus
buck.
4 plus 2, so 10.
Ooh, dang, they got what you need.
They do. On a hit, they're available and have the stuff. Yeah, so I think... quick, let me mark this. Oh, getting close to that next level. Ugh. I think that Unity's place would probably be a good ways away from where we've been so far in the city, just because I feel like it's getting a little too hot near Skid Row. All this stuff kind of building up, especially with a fire in my place. So we're going to probably break some laws, probably cash some favors, and go a little bit further away. I don't know where, because I've never been to LA, but you can fill in that blank say.
Beautiful. And Eli, you have just popped down through this portal back into your office. What is it that you are doing now that you have a vase in hand?
Back in the storage facility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
you wanted
Yep.
Zeph to drop you off, right?
So yeah, he falls out of the ceiling, lands in his desk chair, and sort of spins a little bit. All right. Let's call Hector. Favorite person to talk to on the phone. Hector. Boop.
Hector answers. I'm imagining in the background, you hear 3 voices singing, one of them in pain. I'm like, quiet.
Smell of earth.
You're
Hey,
alive.
Hit the high notes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm alive. Zev is too. Zev just got like a promotion thing. But we've got some business to talk about. Where are you? We can meet up.
I currently have my hand over a sucking chest wound in Uriel's chest. So, maybe you could meet us at a safe house where my friend Unity practices.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
pin you the address, but I feel I have to ask, do you have the vase?
Yeah. I got the package. Wait, so Uriel, was this done by Balfagor?
Yes, the
Okay.
cocksure bastard.
Sure.
He didn't last long when we broke his little spell.
Right. Yeah. Demon sword?
There's this long, quiet moment. You just hear like, like people singing in the background.
Mm-hmm.
I have procured it, yes.
Okay. I meant, was that what the wound was inflicted by? But it's good to know you've got your hands on that. That could be worth a pretty penny to the right people.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Okay. So yeah, angel wounds inflicted by demon swords. Pen me the address. I'm gonna take a look through my apothecarian over here and see if maybe I can bring something to help out. You have that demon sword with you, by the way?
I'm imagining it's like the camera cuts to the trunk, and it's like with a little red light in the back of the trunk.
That and the
Sure.
tire iron are just like rattling
Yeah.
against each other.
Sure. And Hector rubs his thumb over one of these pinions that are falling off of Uriel's dissolving wings. And he says on the phone very quietly, "You may need to prepare for a mortal, maybe not an angel."
Yeah. Demon swords will sometimes have an effect like that. So there was this one encounter in 1564 when a demon hunter went after an angel. It turns out that it was an angel, but they used this. Hector?
Booty?
Sorry.
All right.
Thing.
All right, cool. Okay. All right.
But Hector is immediately bothered by it. He's like, "I'm sorry, Unity practices the bass, the drums," as they like start and drive off, you know.
Sure. Hector's like, he's still singed from the fire that consumed one of his favorite houses.
Mhm.
Sure.
And so you all make your way to the very secluded Hollywood Hills, where a lot of wealthier individuals live, but it is far on the outreaches of the city proper. And so it is, the houses are a lot more spread out. They're a lot older. There are a lot of historical mansions that have been up since the times of old Hollywood. At this point, 150 years ago, almost 2 centuries ago, where some of these houses still stand. And you all make your way to Unity's house. Yes. How's it going over there, Zev?
I got one for you.
Hell yeah, let's hear it.
All right. So, Zev's power in this case is going to be mostly mental, but Zev's eyes glaze, glowing pure white. She opens her mouth and releases not much of a noise, but a sound wave. Her sound waves ripple through the trees, causing tropical-looking birds to flutter and nearby villages to watch their cups of water to ripple. That calls in the knowledge, including that of where the lost queen may be, or a bounce off where she could maybe tell where it might be. In addition to, she could perhaps telepathically locate Queen Annika. She can utilize this sound wave like a bat and locate people within the realms of her own land and beyond. So just unbridled power, but with sound waves.
I like it. Very cool. And so, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. The power is tremendous and allows her to locate and check in on the safety of her friends and perhaps more notably the hive of vampires.
And so as you unleash this sound and you extend your senses out, go ahead and give me a unleash your power, or let it out, sorry. Let it out. So roll with spirit.
Let it out. Let it out with spirit. Spirit is 1. Okay. It's 7. 7.
That is indeed a hit. And so, as you wait for that sort of stillness, and as you set these sounds out across the plains, and you wait for them to bounce and echo back, and when you focus on the ones for the lost queen, for the true position of Queen Annika, and you can feel that the sound waves hit glass and hit water as if she's being contained in some tank filled with fluid. You can feel that it is underground in a bunker, not too far from Skid Row, and you can feel that the sound is hitting this glass for the first time in a long time because it's been exposed thanks to a recent explosion in the area. And that's partially how you're able to find it so easily. and you feel you have a pretty decent idea, at least of a pretty controlled radius of where to look. As you focus on your friends, you can feel, for each of you, what would be the sound vibes that would reverberate off of you that Zev would hear? What is
That are
Uriel
harmonized and we're all together, by the way.
yeah, well, there's definitely a clump of them. What is this harmony that Zev hears back?
I think that Hector's would almost certainly be the telltale sound of cracking glass.
I think in his wounded state, he's no longer singing with his mortal voice, but singing as a member of the angelic choir. So it's just this really unearthly, like, singing voice that you don't hear with your ears, you hear it with your soul. Yeah.
Viv Idley's resonance will sound like a synth. Going through some trills.
I think probably oracles have some sort of like innate, if not like protection, some sort of like knowledge when someone is sort of like reaching out to them magically in some way.
Oh, definitely.
And as part of that, they've almost like synchronized their like signature. So it's sort of like an oracle wide like treaty, so that no one oracle can be like found and held against their will to give prophecies. So I think probably a lot of oracles, at least local ones, sound pretty similar, and they kind of sound like almost like someone is calling, like an echo, but like a slightly unsettling echo. But like the longer you listen to it, the more you realize it's because the echo part seems to be happening before the like strange beat that you're hearing. So sort of like a reverse echo. And like the longer you hear it and the more you hear that sort of like weird reverse echo, the more it starts to hurt your head. Because like even if an oracle can't tell who is sensing them, they're all just ready for like anytime someone is trying to seek me out, like assume the worst and don't let them get you.
You gotta hang up on that bad party lines of
particularly in this city.
Yeah.
And Eli, what does Eli's resonance sound like?
It sounds like a combination of like clicking and like grinding sounds, and for a moment it'll sound like an analog scroll wheel on a mouse, like that clicking sound, and then it sort of it vibrates up and down, and then it also sounds like skateboard wheels rolling on a concrete sidewalk. So it's this sort of, it fades in and out from one towards the other, becomes quieter, and it's just that clicking sound of the scroll wheel rotating, and then it gets a little bit louder and it becomes that ka-chunk, ka-chunk, and that grinding sound of skateboard wheels.
Very cool. So yes, that's what you hear bounce back to you.
That's fun. The fun sounds. But it focuses on their kind of where their location is and the location of the thunk. Like it sounds like a thunk to her. It's where Annika perhaps is located. Are they within any kind of proximity of each other? The two? Are they quite far?
Let's see. So the car would be. They're all pretty very very spread out away from each other. And you can tell that Eli is heading towards the other group of them.
I'm tempted to use my glamour magic, maybe just one last time for bad times, to set up a kind of scarecrow. That's me. And then take a portal to meet up with my friends. I mean, same job. They just have to talk to him. Scarecrow me.
Just got the job. Already did you not? Love it. Love it. Like How little can you get over?
And as my first order, I'm going to leave. Goodbye.
Oh, I already had this vacation planned, actually, so...
PTO.
Very cool. So yeah, so I can definitely say that you can set up like a simulacrum of Zev so that if someone needs to talk to you, they talk to the simulacrum of you, and then you can dip into its senses.
Tell me it's made of roaches, please.
These sputter around, so sometimes like the skin of the face like moves. It's fine.
Zev
Like,
the Oogie
this-
Boogie.
Yeah, the scarab,
Mhm,
the scarab and the mummy. Just
It's got like chainmail made out of like exoskeletons of like scarabs.
Mhm.
You don't look too close, which they won't.
I don't know.
And so after completing this ritual, and you see the waters within the vessel change, and you see the vessel drop, and reflected on the other side, you see a fairy court of people, who are sitting on a beach within surrounding this ring of stones, and you see them grasp it from the bottom side of this glade, and there's the water just like rushes up into this giant column, but then slaps down, calm and peaceful again, and you're able to summon a portal and get the heck out. Go reunite with your friends. Where do you pop into existence in the mortal realm?
I think I want to pop into where I heard all of that noise first, before trying to inspect the second scary thunk by
Just
myself.
like in the car with us.
That would be fun.
Just like suddenly there's a portal inside of the car that we're all
fall
in.
out of the sunroof into the backseat of the car.
I love that. Or like right next to Montgomery. That would be baller. He seems like a cool guy.
I'm sure he can handle the shock.
I'm sure he's seen worse.
Has he though?
For Montgomery.
This
Maybe,
poor
maybe.
put upon driver.
All right, so are you dropping into the front seat of Hector's car?
Let's do it.
All right, you hear
Yep.
as suddenly you all see Zev apparate into the vehicle. Zev, you see Uriel bleeding pretty profusely in the back, and everyone else is minus Hector is singing.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, Rolling
Rolling in the... Oh! Zev? Is that you?
Hey, yeah. What
Yeah.
happened?
Does Zev look any different after this ritual?
Zev is a little bit on her storm game, so much lighter hair, kind of sparkly, very much fayish clothing. So it's not like the, I guess, rags that she was wearing a little bit earlier. So shiny, very sparkly.
Zev, I don't know what show you've been on, but this makeover is very good.
Jesus Christ, superstar. Oh, I was in the Fey realm. I'm here. I heard some noises, and now that I see blood. There's blood.
Oh, don't worry,
It's,
it's mine.
I will say that this song, like, I didn't roll for it trying to distract, but that's definitely what it was trying to do with Uriel. Not to like, yeah. Actually, could I roll to swing just so he's not paying attention to the pain?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's see. I got 9 plus 1, 10.
Oh wow, yeah, definitely.
So create the opportunity of him to ignore his pain, hopefully, and
I'm very distracted. Your voice. I think I had to be on the cusp of what's this again? Death, to really appreciate what you're doing here. That's
no. It's just the bridge. Everyone always thinks it's a little bit of a lyrical death, and then sometimes you switch to a minor key. You've got it.
Major and minor, those are keys.
And
He's like in shock at this point.
mm-hmm. And eventually, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, how close are we to Unity's?
I was gonna say, y'all, y'all pull up to Unity's house, and her house is a very lovely home. You can see it is unlike any other on this block in that it is a little bit too on the nose, being this very Gothic-inspired architecture with these like flying buttresses and this very, very large and sort of opulent manor amongst this very tall, winding hill that Montgomery had to basically switch back up as you pull into this driveway. And as I think it is. Was it daytime? No, it was. God, what time of day is it?
It would be near morning.
Okay, that's right. I was like, all right. And as there's still just like the cusp of night before dawn begins to creep up over the hillsides, and outside, Unity meets you. You see this, as Hector or as JB described her, this silvery-haired, white bob woman, and with very pallid skin, and she says, and she motions out to two other vampires who hold a stretcher and obediently head their way over to the side of the car in order to hoist dear Uriel onto it.
Hello, my dear.
Well, it is, well, we better get you all inside soon. And Eli, you also pull up surreptitiously at the same time.
Before Eli left the warehouse, I made a what was the ability? A private collection roll, looking for items that would be useful in dealing with a demon sword wound or healing an angel, based on his arcane knowledge of celestial anatomy and so forth. And I got a 9. So that was a hit, which means that I can discover a previously unknown resource to assist with that. So maybe put together some sort of poultice on the fly or something that could aid in that. So he's in the back of a cab, like on the way there, and he kept a strip of Uriel's original robes that he came down from heaven he kept a strip of that, and so he's binding different herbs, mercury and saltpeter and other kinds of alchemical things into this poultice that he can help use to like pack this gaping wound, apparently.
Hell yeah, I love it. Very cool. And the group of you all together at this very lovely manor house. After the two nurse vampires hoist Uriel up onto the stretcher and lead him briefly inside. And Uriel, they bring you into a very clean and perfect and well kept and sparse room, and they place you onto this examination table and look to you, and they say, "Well, shall we proceed with our examination of you? We'll do our best. What can you tell us about this? About what caused this wound?"
As the doors are like swinging open and shut, Eli's just gonna like fastball the poultice into the clean room to be like, "Hey, use this to pack the wound before you poke around in there."
And this deft hand reaches up and snatches it out of the air with lightning speed, and you see one of them who caught it sniffs it and says, I see this is more serious than we originally anticipated. Thank you.
Well, It all began at the beginning of all things when it was a few days after Father commanded that there be light, where he made creations very much like in his own image. I was one of the fourth choir of angels. My brother Balthazar
Oh.
being one of the sixth choir of
And
angels.
all of you call him dad? Is that what I heard?
Well, it's interchangeable. Father, mother,
Oh,
the
okay.
light, the Lord, the
Pop pop.
lady.
Hmm.
Not so much pop pop.
Oh, okay. So just not mine. All right, that's fine.
Uh,
Well, because he popped all of creation.
I
And they say, "Oh,
shit.
perhaps we should skip forward to the night of this incident. This looks to be a weapon wound of some kind."
Well, it's all very important. You see, after the great betrayer, my brother, Lucifer, the morning star, the most beloved. Once he turned from the Father, he was cast away to hell, and he took with him a number of our brethren, Balthazar being one of them. And in hell, they've developed hatred for all things blessed and touched by the word of the Lord.
Uriel.
Yes.
Yes. Rewind only like an hour, I believe, is what they need.
Oh.
1 earthly hour.
So the aforementioned brethren that fell from the heavens, he has appeared here on the mortal plane, having possessed a number of my compatriots. And so, as was formerly my responsibility as I was a member of the Choir of Wrath, no longer, however, now I am charged with the guardianship of the artist of the world. I met my brethren in holy combat, in which I proceeded to work as the instrument of the Lord. And
How's that anesthesia coming?
You see, one of them's turning the knobs on some dials and pulls up the mask and just quietly places it on Uriel's face. Oh, better crank that up a bit more. Yes, angels do tend to have a high metabolism.
Isn't this the whole?
Count back on Bible verses from 17, please.
Revelation 24, Corinthians. Oh, hold on, I can do this.
While they're dosing the angel and trying to figure out what's going on with him, can Izzy try to put a face to a name with Unity? Because she, after giving that prophecy to Hector and him immediately being like, we got to go to Unity, now Izzy is very curious.
For sure.
Revelation Jude.
With night, thank you. That is going to be a 9.
Nice. So that is a hit. Sorry. So on a hit, you know their reputation. So you know this individual. She has been around since the formation of Hollywood, of Los Angeles, and has worked. Originally was an actual doctor, but after she had become turned and inevitably was sort of forced out of her occupation due to not aging, she started up her own very private practice in the Hollywood Hills, and she's often been touted as one of those celebrity doctors who, has been the source of a few fad diets here and there, but for the people who really know, they know that she works with those who are supernaturally gifted in some way.
I think at this time, Hector would be sorting through the storage in the car, and he quietly lights a cigarette for himself, but produces a small box and brings it over to Unity because he has to offer payment. Otherwise, they'll just keep Uriel. So he is going to use his objects to art move, where he can, once per session, obtain the perfect item for an NPC. And he will get a clay effigy that looks like it has been covered in pinpricks and pinholes for generations. Like, the thing looks so brittle and so small, but he's handling it with no care at all, and it doesn't seem to be falling apart as he pulls it from this box and neatly tucks the box back into his jacket pocket. And he hands over this little effigy. He got it. I would say he attained it on a Creole ship when he first came to America about 1,200 years ago. And he says, "Here, my dear, for your collection."
Ooh, and Unity looks positively delighted, and she's like, "Oh, I have been searching for just this very one. How do you know? You are always so good. You know, I have, you do know that I spent some time a lot of time, studying in the gullies, and, oh, delightful.
Just see to it that Uriel survives, or at the very least is made comfortable.
Well, he's lost quite a bit of blood, but we shall do our best. I think we can save him. Whatever it is that your friend brought will certainly help." But and as he snaps on some latex gloves, "If you'll excuse me, I must get to work. You all are free to make yourself at home here in the sitting room. Feel free to grab anything you would like to eat or drink in the kitchen. I will let you know their status as soon as I have assessed the situation." She gives a nod and looks to step out.
Eli finishes rolling a spliff at that point and looks over towards Hector, who had pulled out a cigarette as well, and just kind of in that sort of smoker's salute, like, "Hey, want to step outside for a minute?"
Googling spliff. Oh, a marijuana. Okay. I don't know
A
these
combination marijuana and tobacco cigarettes.
It's a jazz cigarette.
It's,
It's the devil's lettuce.
There's a little
Hector-
devil's
Hector
lettuce
nods.
sprinkled in on top.
Hector nods and gives a knowing glance, I think, to Izzy, because he knows that long-standing look of sizing someone up. He just gives like this happy little nod and then follows outside behind Eli.
Eli lights his spliff and then holds a light out to Hector.
He accepts and he says, "Is the vase in the car?"
"Oh, I got it right here, man." Pats his messenger bag. "Safest place I've got to carry it on me. So, I mean, you want to go put it in the trunk now?"
He nods and he says, "I have been a little removed from things, trying to sort out my own affairs. It has been quite a while that I have been Hector Curio, and it is beginning to draw attention. But I have heard Percy Brooks has been involved in the death of Juniper, in the explosion in Skid Row.
Yep.
He has been a fly in my ointment these past few days, and I would see him excised. I'm imagining a man in your position," he opens the trunk, "would also want to see such a person pay for the inconvenience."
For sure. He fucked with my business. And, I don't like to make too much of a fuss here or there. But before I got into this whole line of work, I had a lot more anger problems. Percy's kind of brought that out for me. So, whatever you wind up, going with, the Gabe, I don't know, Sam, Tom, whatever you decide next. As long as that individual has got Percy under his thumb and I get to pay Percy a visit, let's say monthly, to make sure I get my payment out of him. Pound of flesh isn't quite the right word, but there's other parts of vampires that can be quite valuable. If you can manage to do that, negotiate this situation, all of Viv's tinctures will be on the house from now on, and we'll consider your debt cleared for the ones that I've been providing.
I believe I can see to that. And Hector very carefully picks up this sword by the blade and swings it out of the way and opens up the little safe compartment where the tire usually goes. And ye young trash cars that we drive these days, we're in the far future now. They never go flat. And he very gently puts this wide, stubby vase down into that recess and closes it.
Eli takes the sword out of your hand just to hold it for a minute, and then is like, so you got any use for this?
Of course I do. Have we met?
Yeah,
but if you wish to have it, you can keep it. Just know that should Uriel come looking for it, it is technically his. You keep what you kill in this life.
Yeah. That hasn't worked out so well historically, Hector. Come on now, read the books.
I was there when they were written.
Yeah.
He smiles. He quietly taps his head like to tip a hat as he's pulling his phone out and steps away to make a phone call. And since I don't want to do it like live and actually have the conversation, he's basically going to call Miranda, who is by and large forever in his debt until the day she dies, and then a little longer, for hitting him with her car. So until she pays that debt, which she cannot, she is his lackey and is something of a hotshot lawyer. So I would like to set up a series of litigations, as it were, against Percy Brooks. I want to ruin his business ventures so that he turns more and more to the dark streets to try and get what he needs. And when I kind of sick my attack dog lawyer on this, my plan is if he ever comes to me, I will send him to Eli and just keep putting him further and further in that debt. Now, this is obviously outside of the scope, I think, of our last session, but I'll start the wheels working on that, and I'll do it just loudly enough that Eli can hear it as he's walking back toward the building or back towards his car.
And, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Eli then, as Hector walks back in, Eli leans on the trunk of Hector's car and just very casually, finishes the spliff and just makes a couple notes in his phone with his stylus. Yeah, business will be all right. And there's and the camera pans in on a message that he's sending, and it'll be I'll be able to get your steady supply of vampire blood soonish.
Indeed, and after sending that message off, you receive a text message from Gosh, what was his name? Oh my goodness. Oh, good.
Scuba Steve.
Not quite. Not quite. From Warren Bailey, who you had tasked.
Oh yeah.
Who you had tasked to assemble up the rest of the outliers that he could gather up, and asking for a status update on the equipment and when you would like to make a move onto Percy Brooks's territory.
Let's see. Is it this may be a random question. Is it a weekday? Will legislation hit Percy Brooks tomorrow?
Yeah.
Basically, is he going to wake up and have a bunch of lawyer shit raining down on his head?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then tomorrow night.
Very cool.
He's going to spend his entire day, dealing with that, and then he's going to have them hitting him at the same time. Yeah.
Is the plan for that to attack his place of residence or to attack his places of business or both?
I think
if I'm kind of strangling his business ventures, it might be wise to attack him where he lives, like show that you're not fucking around.
There's maybe like a small group that are just kind of like breaking some windows at the business, at his business dealings, his ventures and stuff. But yeah, the real hammer is going towards his house.
And I guess to what end? To just like rattle and intimidate him, or to like invoke like the fear of mortality into him? Like, yeah, what is the goal of that?
Why not both?
For sure.
I mean, because here's like I'm sure that Eli is aware that Percy Brooks is going to have one. Percy Brooks is probably a puissant individual to begin with, so he's probably not going to be like rolled by a bunch of mortals. But two, there's and also Warren Bailey is probably not going to put his own life and the life of his people completely on the line. So it's push. It wants him to be scared, wants him to now be, after the coming 24 hours, wants Percy Brooks to be both fearing for his immortal life as well as his immortal business dealings, his immortal welfare and his immortal life. So I want his cage firmly rattled existentially.
Got it. Nice. I like it. And so for Zev, Viv, and Izzy, all still with inside, what are the three of you up to?
Zev, if it's okay, I'm sure Viv is gently shaking her down, be like, and so have you had like a coronation ceremony yet? And is there talent booked at the coronation ceremony? Maybe I could offer services. I haven't done a Fae tour in so long.
I think I would be looking to book somebody to sing at my venue. I was kind of in a rush to get back here. And meanwhile, a crow lands on the scarecrow that Zev set up and eats a roach off of it, and then and flies away. That's what's happening back at the Feyland. But I saw something real weird. So I have these new powers, and I smell things and hear things, and that's how I found you guys. But also I found you guys through sound. It's a long story. You would know sound, plays a significant role. But I heard something coming not far from you, and that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. So I promise we'll get to coronation later. I haven't picked out an outfit, but I don't think we're very far from Annika. Oh, also Annika's not the queen of the Fae. Yeah, we got a lot to catch up on. She's kind of like fumbling and trying to get everything out at once.
So you came back just partially for us, but partially for Annika?
In a way.
No judgment, of course.
Well, the thing is, it didn't sound like she was a free roaming, if you will. It sounded as though she were inside of something. And what that something is I'm not sure of.
Goodness. Well, maybe we could do something about it. I don't know how long surgery takes on a immortal mortal being.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Check it out. And she kind of rubs her hands together and sorry, it doesn't always work the first time, and she makes a portal.
Ooh.
Ta-da. I don't know where this goes, but I try to pinpoint it to the location that I deemed earlier. There's no guarantee that we won't fall through a hole. So there's
Izzy, are you seeing this as like vacation roulette? That thing you never let me do.
That's because we're not having this argument again right now. Can I try to use psychometry on this portal? Would that work?
Sure.
Oh wow, okay, yeah, that's an 11.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
So I mean, I guess the most important question is like what bands, words, or limits are attached to this object. I guess in terms of like if we go through it, is it gonna kill us or is it gonna take us where we want to go?
I guess, an interesting question for Zev. Making portals is a pretty new thing for you, especially making them so quickly. And so, like, would you put any wards on your portals, like so that they close immediately, or that only Fae can cross through, or only creatures of a certain, only named only creatures whose names you know, or you know?
I think because she's so new at it that they have a time limit. She cannot keep them open indefinitely. That takes time to build up. So no wards yet. But they have a time limit.
But it does go someplace, and you're not going to be harmed by crossing through.
No. It'll just feel kind of fuzzy.
I guess if I ask the question, what secrets or mysteries has this object been privy to, would that lead to, like, if it does lead to Annika, is it like the secret / mystery of like where she is hidden?
I like that. That's clever. Yes. I would say that the space that this portal's leading into, you can definitely sense that it is heavily warded, but you can sense that those wards have been disrupted because of cracks in the infrastructure, both physical and metaphysical, in this place where she's being kept. So you know that, and that she, you can see that this portal leads into this dark concrete room in which there is a container that is glass between cold iron bars and filled with liquid that is flecked with a sort of dull ferrous material, and floating inside like a Bacta tank in Star Wars, you can see this shriveled prune of a Fae creature hooked up to dozens and dozens of tubes. And you can see that get a glimpse of the wards of the tank that she is floating in, and it is warded to high heaven.
Back of Viv's neck is starting to tingle at the sight of this vat with a creature inside, but she starts tugging at Izzy and she goes, we have to go. We need to go in there.
What if we just like grab that tank and like pull it into here where we are so we don't get trapped wherever that is? Can we do that?
it's probably like the size of like your average living room. It's definitely not something you can pick up.
Viv turns to Zev. Are you sure you can't grab the edge of the portal and turn it this way and just shake it out?
I mean, the portal can stretch. How far? I don't know. But
like a mother giving birth, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, what if we just like step outside and you like move the portal around that room and then that whole tank is just like in the street outside, right?
She can move the portal and then down and then shift and then up.
Yes. Can we assist with this?
Did you all go through the portal or did you go out and come back?
Izzy did not go through the portal.
Okay.
She like looked through it and did psychometry, but now is like, I don't want to go to where that leads because that seems dangerous. But let's pull that through to us.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So is it possible to like lend a hand to help Zev? Oh, were you gonna say something, Paul?
Well, I was just gonna say Eli walks back in at this point, having finished his wacky tobacco, and is like, "Oh, portals again! You're getting good at that trick, Zev. Cool. Yeah. Hey, so where's this one? Wait, is that Annika through there?
I think so, but we're trying to figure out a way to get that over here.
So outside everyone and move the portal.
Yeah, and also Viv is like looking at the machine that all this is hooked up into, and sort of like you can see her eyes furiously like dilating and then like getting into pinpricks as she attempts to do a machinist move and is trying to speak with the creature through the portal. I don't know if I can do that, but or speak with the machine through the portal.
Yeah, I would say so. I'll say it'll be a little bit more difficult, or things might get a little bit lost since they're crossing across, like, you know, going across a huge amount of distance. But I would say it can be possible.
Well, I got an 8, so I get to ask one of my questions.
Nice.
My roll. And she just looks around. She's just like snapping her fingers. Okay, don't ask. No, not that one. Not that one. And she says, "Is there a safety eject for this creature?" Can they safely detach it from the machine, like the pod that it's in, and without killing the creature?
Yes.
She's sort of thinking of the portal going around it and then just cutting off the electrical cords, though, and then Annika dying, or this thing that's holding Annika.
And you'll receive a yes.
Oh shit!
Or the creature can be safely detached.
Oh, okay. It's like, can you tell me the time? And then someone says yes, and then they don't tell you the time. I guess. All right. And then she also receives like a couple, maybe like an image of how to do it, possibly. All right. So we can the machine. We are able to remove it from the situation, but I think one of us does have to go in there. And I can do it. I've kind of caused a lot of trouble, so you know.
I won't let you go alone. I mean, I made this trouble, so I'll be back up.
Oh, okay. I was like, are you gonna give me some of your roach friends? some backup dancers,
if you want. And she kind of pulls up her hand, these little rope.
Okay, yes, I'm very much into this.
They're my friends.
All right, so Viv is gonna hop into the portal with some roach friends.
Yep. To press that button on the back.
Briefly, we're gonna jump over to Uriel. Uriel, you've been knocked out with anesthesia. And
which I have invested least. John Peter James Hebrews Philbot Titus Timothy Thessalonians. He's just going.
And as there's almost this feeling of like in this fuzzy state of half consciousness, and you feel your body sort of just like kind of drifting and meandering through this just like bright space, and like you feel as though you are walking on something, but as you look around, there is nothing around you until finally you see the manifestation of the Lord, of God, appear before you. And what does that look like to Uriel?
I'm gonna say it's more of well, it's just it's the silhouette of a humanoid figure that flickers like a flame on top of a candle, and every now and then it'll be that of a masculine silhouette, and then it'll be that of a feminine silhouette. It's a constant state of all things, colors, shades, everything. And I think Uriel sees that, and and there's confusion because he did remember flying to heaven. So it's have I come to you in the method of the mortals, Lord?
Well, you are here in spirit. You have not flown directly to us, but you could be close. You could if you would like to.
In spirit. This is a gift that you gave to them, and now, have I served you well, my Lord?
You hear a soft laugh. You have always wanted to serve dutifully, and you have always served dutifully. But Uriel, have you served yourself?
It is not my nature to do anything less what you will. Even so, I have met I have met some of your more interesting creations.
Haha, yes. It is fascinating how when we bestow our creations into the world, that they themselves seek to do the very same. We have seen young Viv idly, and at first we were concerned what those mortals would do with the discovery of the power of creation. But some of them have turned out all right.
If I may testify on behalf of Viv, though her soul smells a little different, I believe that she is equal to any human that I've encountered, maybe even more so.
And you see the shadow of this manifestation sort of nod their head sort of quietly, and there's this flicker of light that plays across this everlasting white landscape. Uriel, would you like to be mortal for a while?
They are interesting, and I've experienced much of the pain that I've heard so much about. It's truly awful.
Ah, yes.
But there's a lichen that got me drunk, I believe is what they call it. It was very nice.
I
And
believe, as they say, proof that God loves the mortals is the phrase I've heard.
and there was this creature of the underworld that frightened me in a way that was somewhat appealing. So I would like to walk among their number for a time, I think.
Very well. If for your body now, we are at a bit of a crossroads, you see. For you sustained quite a bit of damage, and the poultice that your friend procured and created to aid you will be able to heal your physical body. But the spiritual damage that you've suffered is, well, I see how you have wavered, and I do not blame you. And the shadow flickers. Even I waver. We all do. In power, in faith. You may die on that table and return back here and be whole again in your celestial self, and you would be free to go back as a celestial to the mortal plane should you choose. Or you may choose to set down your wings for a while.
I think you see the wings spread out and they're in their full glory. And like after kind of hearing that he has permission to just take a break, like all of the feathers gracefully just fall off and the stems holding them just kind of fall off. And he takes a breath, and the color in his eyes dull a little bit, and his chest rises and falls a little bit more. I think a lifetime or two would be nice as a vacation.
Well, I can say, I think you've more than earned it, my dear child. I'll hold on to these for you, should you ever wish to return to them.
As for the wrath thing, I know that wrath is yours. Often mortals forget themselves and may at times take it upon themselves to incur wrath on wrongdoers. Um, just, I will try not to fall back on my old ways.
I have faith that you will stay strong. And you feel this sort of flash of heat splash across your cheeks.
Yeah, I think Uriel's just going to take a deep breath and fall backwards into whatever the Lord decides is the right way for him to continue. But he's made the choice to be human.
And as you fall back and you feel everything sort of drift away, and as everything begins to feel so far away, so hazy, so dim, and as the bright white light of the endless landscape sort of narrows into complete darkness, and you get that jolting sensation of that moment right before you fall asleep, and you are startled by this beep 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 of medical equipment, and you hear, "Oh, I suppose I should thank God they're stable." Uriel, Uriel, you
Yeah.
hear a voice coming out, and it begins to, first it's very slow and fuzzy, but it becomes sharp and crisp again as you find yourself in this medical facility, in this room.
Gonna get up and just kind of look to see if I recognize anybody around me.
I see Unity and the two vampire nurses, and they look at you with a little bit of hesitancy and concern in their eyes, and
I'll-
you see that each of the nurses, holding in their hands, holds up these featherless wings, and they say, "I'm sorry."
Oh. No, I did that, not you.
They sigh relief.
There's a pain in my stomach and my mouth is dry. Right, this was hunger again.
Yes, we'll get you, we've managed to stitch together the wound in your chest. It's going to take a few weeks to heal back completely, but you should be able to move and everything. You've healed quite rapidly, already, but I would say don't take it anything too quickly, but we'll certainly get you fixed up with food, water, whatever you
Yes,
need.
yes. And where are my friends? What?
They should still be in the sitting room. 1 second, I'll call them in, and these two vampire nurses come out, and there's a portal in the sitting room you all are talking about. And these nurses look, oh my, and one of them finally speaks up after this long moment and says, "They're stable."
Sweet.
Hey. Good. Good.
Cool.
Would you all like to come in
When-
and see
Yes,
them?
please.
And please, no portals in the waiting room.
Yeah, I think we
Look.
should probably take care of this before we go talk to Uriel. Because
Right.
Zeb, how
Yeah,
much longer is this portal gonna last? Like, we should probably make a decision and do this.
Yeah, these ones don't last very long.
I would say
So-
probably 5 minutes at the most, and
Yeah.
shorter the larger you make it.
For sure.
Viv just jumps in. She's like, "Oh, okay. We don't have time."
Oh.
with her
Nope.
cockroaches.
I don't know exactly how Izzy could lend a hand, but can I roll to try to lend a hand without going through the portal?
To do what? To lend a hand to do what?
I guess to
Did you make a prophecy about well, we already figured out how to the button, right? But maybe where exactly it is, or how this is gonna.
maybe it's just finding a rope or something to lasso around Viv so that they can yank them both back out once they get them.
I mean, you wouldn't have to roll. I would say you all can. There's probably no rope here in someone's standard house. You would have to go.
Fortunately, Izzy wears a lot of
What
scarves.
about my adventurer's pack?
Oh yeah.
There's 50
Perfect.
feet of rope in every standard pack. You could tie
Izzy,
some
Izzy, no, you're brilliant. You're brilliant. Look what I found. And there's a rolling handcart.
There we go. Perfect.
Thank you for lending a hand. You can help me push it through or pull it.
Oh no, I'm not coming. Yeah, when you come back to
No,
the
yeah,
portal,
once
I'll
I
help you
get
on
it,
this
yeah, no,
side.
yeah.
Absolutely.
It's called a Jerry's cart. Yes, thank you. All right,
All right.
we can. And do I need to roll to be able to press that button on the back, or
No, so as you
okay?
you pop into the other side of this portal, into this heavy, very dense concrete room. You look around and you see the machinery. You can see that there is this huge display of buttons, and as you look around, you can see that there is indeed a shut-off switch, and then there is on the tubes themselves, there are the release functions in order to pull them off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, Viv opens up that little like clear case on the the release switch, so no one just accidentally hits it, or a cat accidentally bumps it, and turns it, flips it off, so like the little lights around the bottom of the tube probably like flicker off, and then she's like, all right, and then these cords, I guess this is like an old, those vintage telephone operator things with the spaghetti wall. And she's like trying to pull them out so they don't pop and pull the skin too much. Yeah.
And yeah, you can see that this is clearly an individual who has been submerged in water in this fluid for a very long time. Like, their skin is soft and spongy, and it moves, and it's like in this sort of weird way. And as you pull them off, and you see that these eyes, sort of these bright emerald green eyes, sort of just lull up to meet yours, at first with a bit of concern and panic, but as you continue doing this with care and delicacy, she kind of just sort of lets it happen, and a door leading into this room suddenly opens, and you see the human that you now know is the human Annika burst through the room and say, "Who the fuck are you, and what are you doing? How did you get here?"
I mean, clearly, darling, you need your eyes checked. There's a giant portal right to my... And is the portal still there?
It's closing very rapidly.
No. Well, gotta go. She's like trying to lift out the goopy human, the second lifting she's been doing. This is like an action adventure movie.
Can Izzy just start like grabbing things from around the room and like chucking them through the portal at the fake Annika to try to like
up with each other hands, like
distract? Yeah.
Obviously, with the helping hand.
Yeah, there's very much in this office space, there is tons of stuff that you could pick up and huck. Would you like to try to distract her to give
Yes.
Viv the opportunity to get out? Yeah, roll for it.
Oh, that is a very good roll. Plus mind, that's a 12.
What did you pick up in this vampire hospital?
Wow.
I was thinking
In
of
the
like those
waiting
random
room.
right? I was thinking those like random like generic waiting room decorations would be in here, like those like woven balls like aren't anything, and like
Picture
little
germ catchers.
picture frames, like little like dishes with decorative rocks in them.
Hang in there, baby.
What if
calendar.
the kids toy that's in the front of every doctor's office
Yeah,
that's got
with
the
the, like,
wires and the
yeah.
beads and it's way too big?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so are you picking to give Viv an opening, or?
Yeah, so since that was such a good roll, I can do more than one. So I guess confuse them for some time and create an opportunity for Viv to get through. So I guess like confuse the fake Annika into like not being able to follow Viv somehow because there's just like all this shit being chucked at her.
Mm-hmm.
And like use that to create the opportunity for Viv to just like run through with the real Annika on the cart.
Definitely.
I could also... Oh, I'm sorry.
So, no, go ahead.
I said Viv could also let it all out, or let it out as well at the same time to help get everyone through unscathed.
Interesting. What are the rest of you doing in this situation?
Eli would be seeing the portal start to sort of waver a little bit and would pull out a piece of chalk, and then on the ground underneath the portal be inscribing some generic like power runes, fey power, things that will probably help to at least focus the area that the portal is in right now.
So to try and like stabilize it?
To stabilize it until the switch gets turned off. Until
Sure.
Zev turns off the switch. Yeah.
Go ahead and roll to let it out for me.
I got that's my spirit. I got a 6 + 1, 7. So I will use the option. I will intimidate my opposition.
Nice, yeah, for sure.
And Viv goes, "What's your favorite song?" while carrying Annika and like trying to slowly turn.
And Eli, roll to let it out for me as well, please, if that wasn't clear. Sorry.
Sure. Let's see here.
Viv's asking because then she's also like, "Tell me your song and I'll ruin it."
7.
Nice. You do,
Mhm.
yeah. So as you focus, you draw your knowledge forth into these different runes, and as you trace them on chalk into the ground, and you can see that the edges of the portal begin to flicker, but they begin to stabilize and sort of pulse as they aren't receding in as quickly as they were, and Viv, as you are carrying Annika, and with Izzy hucking things through this portal to try and block her path and to entangle her within these these different things as she's getting pelted, Viv, you are able to carry this woman out just in time before it closes, and you see the human Annika's hand reach out to try and grab you, but you're able to evade it at just the very last second as it.
Thank you, Izzy. Thank you, Eli. Is that? Oh, we're in a hospital. Gurney? Stretcher?
And the nurses just look at you all and just rub their temples and shake their heads. And they say, "Well, as the policy goes, you must present a gift or payment, or we get to keep her in our care."
Izzy, give them one of your prophecies.
Oh, I was gonna say this feels like a Zev payment, since isn't this Zev's whole
I got
deal?
some roaches.
I mean,
do you like bugs?
They're really smart.
I can give a prophecy to them as payment in exchange for a future favor from Zev, the current queen of the Roach Court.
There you
We
go.
have no need for prophecies. We already have an oracle that we contact with. But thank you. That's nice. No.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Attitude?
These roaches will do your bidding. And they're
they'll
little
clean the
spies.
wounds.
And eventually, Unity walks in, wiping her hands with a towel that she throws off into a biohazard hamper, and she says, "I already have individuals to do my betting. No, you will have to do something more."
How about a concert for morale?
She rolls her eyes.
Well, that was any Eli, Hector.
How about Victoria's divination tools?
Oh yes, tools and nothing else.
She tilts her head off to the side, intrigued. "I should like to inspect them." She holds out her hand.
Easy, don't you? Do you have them, or are they inside me?
Izzy has them.
Oh, okay.
Izzy has them, but she won't hand them over. She'll just like open the little box.
Ooh. Mhm.
And Unity will stride forward, giving you very much the once over and eyeing them, and will say, these appear mundane. I require something magical.
I always knew that there's something off about Victoria. Well, again, this feels like a Zev thing because I'm not giving up any of my divination tools.
Name your price, vampire.
Zev, come here for a second.
Yeah.
So, just so happens I probably have just the thing they might be looking for. You know, you just be on the hook to reimburse me for it at a later time. You know, you or the court,
Or the courts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're Queen Regent now, so it's like just an extension of your thing. Like, it's all good, right?
Zeb thinks back to the scarecrow in her place currently. Sure. Yeah.
All
Why
right.
not? What do you got?
Cool. So, I am going to roll. I'm going to use a class move, and then what's the class move called? Nope, not Arcane Network. You find the thing that you are able to find the thing that they want. Yeah, it is the Arcane Network.
Perfect.
Okay.
Nice.
And that is a 10.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so I'm able to find the object that they will desire, and I don't have to deal with negative fallout from it. So there's a collection of one of the first sets of hypodermic needles that also happened to be inscribed and enchanted by a wizard, so that they are able to puncture exceedingly tough skin or carapaces or other things like that, as well as withdraw arcane fluids without them losing their mojo.
Word.
Vampire blood, bile, we could get all kinds of hermetic with it.
Indeed, yeah, and with some negotiating and making some calls and having them make the drive over, and you're able to procure and present these, and Unity is very pleased. They say, all right, well, you all are free to visit with Uriel. We will see to her. And as this takes some time, probably about an hour of people driving, maneuvering, procuring things, pulling things out of storage lockers, Eli, you receive a video of body cam footage of Warren Bailey and his team storming... Or sorry, that's supposed to be happening tomorrow. Never mind. Anyways, you are all free to visit with Uriel.
Because it's been a minute, I probably just need to say that Hector is not there. Hector and Montgomery would have left when Eli went inside while Hector was on the phone.
Where does Hector get off to?
Sure, if we want to close it out like this. Hector will have left and gone back to his palatial penthouse. And there's this somber, quiet moment when he sets this vase on the ground. And he pricks the tip of his finger and drops a few drops of blood into the vase. Speaks some words, but the camera's silent. There's quiet music, ting, 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 over it. A few moments later, he tips the vase over with his shoe, and pouring out from this small opening comes a fully formed person, the same size and shape as Hector. It looks like him, but maybe 3 or 4 years younger. Just something about the magic and how it was corrupted at one point. Hector lifts this body and, as with practice precision, drags it into the bedroom, puts it on the bed, positions it just so to look as though he were sleeping. He lifts the vase, puts it back in this leather bag that he once had it in, and gives one final look around the apartment. He's enjoyed it here for the most part. It's been many, many years. But he has never felt like this was home. He hasn't for lifetimes now. It feels like shifting sands under his feet, not home or concrete. He lets out a short sigh, puts his keys back on the ring just inside the door, and leaves. As he walks out, instead of going into the elevator to go down to the bottom floor, he steps out onto the fire escape, closes the window behind him, and absconds as quietly as he can down the stairs. When he gets to the bottom, he sees Montgomery waiting by the car. I was just running up for something. He'll be waiting there a few hours before he really realizes to come and check. I remember the fond moments I've had with him, even over the span of the past couple days. The things that he's seen, the things that he's done, he's been privy to. I know that he won't say anything. He knows better at this point. With my small bag and the only small accoutrement that I have in my possession, a few artifacts that I have absconded with, a few magical reliquaries, a change of clothes, and the vase that I've been using for several years, I set off into the city proper once again. I don't feel like that lifetime was as long as it should have been. I know that by now Miranda Cartwright will have set forth the final motions of the paperwork that were being held up by my close personal friends. He laughs at the idea. He doesn't really have friends anymore. He doesn't really have anybody. But he's okay with that. He's very practiced in that way. He has completed the alias scheme that he started the campaign with. And he is, in effect, no longer Hector Dominic Curio. He owes no one anything, no debts. But he carries none with him either. He sets off into the city of Los Angeles, born again, in a sense, much like Uriel. And when he finally gets to where he's going, to this small hotel he's going to put himself up in for a few days until things die down, he writes his new name on the ledger, Hephaestus Barros. And when he walks into this room and he sits down on the edge of this nice opulent bed and looks at the floor-to-ceiling mirror next to the bathroom, the reflection that stares back at him is not what anyone else would see. It's ancient, twisted, desiccated, rotten eyes stare back. He smiles, but the image that stares back at him doesn't smile. It twists this toothy, fetid grin. But at least it doesn't make him feel alone when he sees that image of himself. He knows that he's never really alone.
And what are the rest of you all doing?
think Uriel is just kind of in on the gurney in the bed of this makeshift hospital, and it's the first time he's getting a feeling of like, oh, my friends are coming to see me any second now.
You hear a bunch of scuffling at the door and like, "Oh, we didn't. There's no gift shop in here. Like, what do you? It's his first experience. We need okay." And then like,
No,
probably-
let me just
wait.
make a phone call. We can
No,
no.
we don't
I gotta
have
call the other
time.
guy.
He's afraid of
Yeah, it'll be cool. We got there. Hey,
we
wait a
all
minute.
probably try to like push in at the same time.
Yeah, like all the way trying to go to that door.
Oh, hello, everyone. I'm so sorry if this was a bother to you all. I mean this, but I also I am unhappy in a way that I'm unfamiliar with. And I meant what I said, but I think I meant it in a hostile way. That's not actively hostile.
What you're describing is called passive aggression,
Passive
my
aggression.
friend.
Mhm.
Oh, I am being passively aggressive at you.
You are.
I wanted you to come sooner. I wanted to feel important.
You look well.
What is this?
You're missing something, bro.
Yeah.
What?
there's a
No,
lot-
you're not missing anything. You're perfect
I
the way
mean-
you are.
Well, I don't know.
It's
Yes,
you.
I no longer have wings. I've decided to spend this lifetime as a mortal.
Okay.
Congratulations.
On purpose.
Yes.
Have you?
Oh, yes, I talked to the Lord and we came to an agreement that I
Right.
would spend a lifetime or two as a mortal and then I would pick up my reins as a celestial entity.
You usually get one as a mortal. Like,
You don't get multiple lifetimes as a.
well, it depends on who you ask, because like if you look at the
I believe he
scholars
just
from
said he
this
asked
tradition,
God.
then well,
Well-
right, but God, depending on who you ask, maybe says that you get more than one. Maybe you get a whole bunch. Maybe you.
I was
get
basing
as
it off
many
of
as
my encounter with Hector. Where is Hector?
Oh yeah, he pieced out.
Uriel, notably, you as you kind of scope around the room and taking in your friends and you're looking for Hector, and you see that one of the monitors on the medical equipment, the screen is cracked. And you remember that moment in his beach house when he imbued you with mortality.
Oh. Oh. It may very well be more than one lifetime after. Wait. I am unhappy that Hector is not here, but in a way that doesn't feel nearly as passive as my aggressiveness. I believe
It's
it was.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Now is what you're feeling.
Oh.
But Hector worked very hard to get you here, and it was because of Hector that we were able to save you, and also because of Eli's. Everyone had gifts and things that we all contributed, and I'm so
you got
sorry
me
that.
gifts?
We
Yes,
got gifts
and-
so we could keep you alive.
But also, and Viv runs out to the vampire's fridge where they said they had food, and grabs every color of like Jello and pudding they have.
Oh no.
and also some like crunchy chips and things. And I mean, you know what things taste like, but she brings it back and it's like, you've never felt a sugar rush before, have you, as a mortal?
I haven't felt anything as a mortal except for an excruciating amount of pain, exorbitant amount of drugs, and passive aggressiveness and aggressive aggressiveness.
Yeah,
I'm not-
welcome to the human experience.
I'm about something.
Cool. And by the way, and he slapped Eli out of be like, we can get to McDonald's for breakfast in just a little bit. He's gotta have a McGriddle. Hash browns, get a fresh egg McMuffin. That's gonna be way better than the little, cup things. We can get cups on the way back.
I would very much like to experience the griddle of Mick.
Yes.
Perhaps maybe even we could do Grand Slam at Denny's. Like, there's so many. You know what? You're about to experience breakfast for all the meals.
We're gonna do a breakfast crawl, y'all. Let's go. All right.
Despite my lack of wings, I am fully capable of walking.
No. We're gonna keep it cash.
Keep it cash.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I remember.
All right, so you all can, after having settled up to owe the payment to ensure that Annika gets treatment, you all can enjoy your montage of breakfast crawl as you go from shitty breakfast place to shitty breakfast place, sampling delight of breakfast, variety of breakfast breads, etc. And
the breakfast is better when it's from a shitty place.
This is called
the final
grease,
stop. The
you
piece
see,
de
yeah.
resistance is the Waffle House. Like,
Listen,
yeah.
if somebody hasn't been shot in the ditties I'm at, I don't want it.
If somebody, you mean one of the servers? Yes.
After all, breakfast is the optimistic new meal, and because you've got your whole day ahead of you. But for the rest of you all, what do your next big steps look like for each of you? You all have some different projects at your feet, some renewals, some different paths that lie out ahead of you. Sure enough, Eli, as the next couple days unfold, you receive body cam footage from Warren Bailey and his troop of rattling up Percy Brooks's penthouse, overturning his coffin and destroying the inside of it, leaving that place in absolute just tatters. And Hector has been true to his word, though is unreachable, it seems. So what is it that you all get up to? What is it that you all look forward to as we close our series?
Eli just begins to let information sort of spread throughout the arcane network that Percy Brooks fucked with Eli. Percy Brooks was a vampire. Now, if anybody needs vampire blood, they should come to talk to Eli for whatever arcane purposes. And they can put that little puzzle piece together and be cool. Be cool.
No,
that's yeah. yeah.
Once the real Annika is truly restored back to health, Zeb will then bring her back to the Fae realm to reclaim her rightful throne, while Zeb could be a right-hand man, returning home to, a ruckus, and of course inviting Viv to give a performance to a crowd of thousands. Her best concert yet, arguably.
Listen,
Yes.
epilogue time. I love doing epilogues.
Yeah.
Uriel. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. You go.
Uriel, after getting comfortable in the human experience, begins to chase their passion, which quickly becomes art. And it also becomes a werewolf bartender by the name of Marco. and a very particular vampire who had Uriel Scorny for a couple of episodes. They form a polycule which establishes a peace between the Lycans and the vampires and open a trust for struggling artists in LA, thus fulfilling the prophecy.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
As it was foretold.
And yeah, I'll say that Viv continues to tour as a solo artist now that she knows the unfortunate ending of her past bandmates. Hopefully going to many courts and many things, freed mostly from Meta, and is and works quietly to help others underground, if you will, who are also like her, to find new homes and new purposes for any and will, you know, of course, occasionally sing and promote with Uriel's artistic NGO or nonprofit, excuse me, around the dusty yet still glittering streets of LA.
Wonderful.
Last thing, if I can add. Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, his human name is Hector Uri.
Bless.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Izzy, as soon as she gets home, calls in all of the people that she has working for her as like part of her conspiracy blog network, and just goes hard. Like so much has happened just in the past couple of days, and this information has got to get out there. And there's so much just new information for Izzy to look into, like with her shells, but also like investigate, like sending people out to investigate. And she basically stops doing anything else because there's just so much going on, and she somehow kept getting pulled into things. And now she's like obsessively trying to learn more as a way to make sure that she doesn't get pulled into anything else ever again without knowing that something is coming. And sort of like accidentally, as a side effect of this, basically starts her own like private investigator business where she now has a bunch of PIs on her payroll along with all of her bloggers on her conspiracy blog, and has basically like almost accidentally set up just like this massive information and investigative network through LA just to like get down to whatever the heck is going on anytime she gets even the faintest hint that something new is happening.
Heck yes. And with that, you uncover a lot of what Meta has planned and has done, and with that are able to make a lot of change within the city of Los Angeles, and were able to promote legislation in Congress and everything in order to restrict their powers and to break up the monopoly that is Meta. And Viv, you're able to get a lot of people out of the system and able to transition them into more fulfilling and freer lives. And Uriel, your nonprofit flourishes, and along with the help of Brother Eric and the Church of Our Lady of Eternal Struggle, are able to reach so many people across the city to get them access to the services and things that they need. And Zev, you're able to be free, able to travel between the mortal and fairy realm, and you hold a lot of respect for fairies of a variety of courts, and able to always know when the next trick is to be pulled, and to relay that information to Izzy, and to be able to spin that into a satisfying deal.
She learns how to steal glamour. So stealing that from the Kardashians.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's gone.
And Eli, with the information that you have procured about Percy Brooks and these vampires, you're able to consolidate a lot of power and get a very strong monopoly on the the magic items networks within Los Angeles. And that is where we close out this series, y'all. Thank you all for playing. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. This has been just a really wonderful experience, and I can't wait to play in another Urban Shadows campaign. Urban Shadows, y'all, if you haven't checked it out, I highly suggest you do. It is a really rules light system. It is, it's a 2d6 system in which you're basically given rules for your moves, and every time that you want to act within the fiction, you just activate a move, say that what you want to do, how it is that you're doing it, and as a storyteller, you're really just facilitating all these different things of helping the players, meet the challenges that stand in the way for them meeting their agendas and meeting their goals. And it is a really cool, really unique, really fun system, and I suggest you check it out. But thank you all for tuning in. These episodes will be made into MP3 format, so if you give just $1 a month on our Patreon, you'll be able to listen to these as MP3s that I edit down, but you can always watch them again on our YouTube channel if you want to relive the wonderful magic that is this cast. But for the last time, I have been your storyteller this evening, Sage.
Oh man, for the last time, I've been your chaotic fae, Zev. Thanks for letting me play with you tonight. Awesome.
Hi, everybody. I'm JB, and tonight I played Hippatos Alnesbaros, your immortal.
The immortal formerly known as Hector.
Formerly known as Hector Dominic Curio.
And thank you. I have been Viv Idley, your lab-made pop star vessel. Thank you so much.
And I'm Jess. I was the very paranoid Oracle, Izzy.
And hello, I'm Noir, and I played Yuri, aka Hector, Uriel, aka Hector Yuri, the now angel investor for artists.
I am Paul Harpring, and I have been playing Eli, your SoCal Constantine scholar of the arcane and the occult.
Huzzah! And, well, we can catch us next week as we're doing another finale here on Venture Maidens. We're doing the finale of Arc 1 on our favorite campaign, which is super cool. It's a good time. Make sure to tune in at 6 p.m. PST for this, 3-hour-long finale extravaganza. But until then, y'all, stay cash.
No thanks.
No thanks.
Cash.
Yes, please. That's cash.
Aggressive.
Yes, Kat.